Terrific day. Neil Clugston's one of the organisers of this whole thing. Neil, how many bands are actually playing?
Well, there's really about 5 bands playing: Icehouse, Noiseworks, Dragon, Screaming Tribesmen and the Machinations. But on top of that, we've got a lot of people like John Farnham, Jimmy Barnes, Richard Clapton, Glenn Shorrock, Ross Wilson, Eric McCusker. I mean, the biggest names in the music business are going to be here today on Bondi Beach.
Todd, how exactly did this thing come about?
Well, it was just sort of, we were sitting around thinking what we could actually do as part of the music industry to try and fight this problem, and this is it. This is what we can do.
You've actually lived in this area for many years. Have you watched it get worse over the years?
Well, we stopped swimming a year or two ago, but, you know, the fact that you can't swim on one of the greatest beaches of the world is not the problem. It's just that it's getting worse and worse. The fish and everything, you know.
Well, actually, I went to rehearsals yesterday afternoon, and spoke to a few of the other people involved. Todd, speaking to John then, great things will happen on stage, like, for instance, you're actually going to get to back John with the song that you wrote with your wife, Joanna.
That's right, Age of Reason, yeah. It's a great thing to be able to play with all these different singers. The rehearsal was fantastic yesterday. It's great.
It's also a thing, I think, that we've got to realise that affects the whole of Australia. It's not just Sydney, which is why all these musicians have got together. Neil, how difficult is it to organise something like this?
The organisation behind a concert like this, Basha, is phenomenal. However, everyone's come into this issue and into the concert with the right attitude, and we haven't really had any problems getting the support of the entire music industry. I mean, you name them and they're doing this, whether it's record companies, publishers, everyone's been behind it. We didn't have a single no from the time that we started on the phones.
Right, and it's interesting also, Todd, that it's the musicians who are always doing these shows. How come?
It's just that, you know, people in music are concerned about these things. I mean, you can't not be concerned about something like this. That's all I can think of.
Okay, well, I think it should be a great day, and I think it's a real achievement. Wouldn't you agree, Neil?
I think it's going to be the biggest day for Australian music, and I've got to mention the Party Boys are also on with Joe Walsh and Paul Christie. Otherwise, I'm going to get killed, but it will be the biggest concert and the biggest lineup of talent that Australia's ever seen on one stage.
Great. That should be fun, and that'll be this afternoon on Bondi Beach.
And they actually make money from it.
We're living in slime. I don't like it.
And have you any advice for kids, sort of to raise their awareness?
Just to be, I think kids today are much more aware than people were at my age. You know, when I was younger, I didn't give a thought to it. You know, drive around a car throwing cigarettes out the window, that sort of thing. Really, that stupid, polluting attitude. But kids today are much more sober and aware of what's going on. They know the world's getting smaller. You know, they watch cable, they watch news every night from America. They know that something happens somewhere, it's felt here the next morning. You know, the Earth is not a renewable resource, it's small. You know, if we mess up the Pacific, it's gone.